Pizza Dolce, delicious custard and Amarene cherries, perfect dessert anytime, especially around Easter. Hope you make it. Take a look. If this is what you want, stay for the recipe. Hello everybody, this is Alessandra. Welcome to my home, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to be making together pizza rosa, not a pizza, it's a cake. It's a beautiful crust and inside of custard, and all around you're gonna have Amarene cherries. It's just delightful, very common in the Naples area, and we always have pizza rosa for Easter. Later on I'll share a story about it, but right now let's get started with the ingredients. I didn't think that this cake was very popular, and then Carla, you know who you are, one of my Facebook fans, she asked about this recipe, so I was very excited to be able to make it and share the recipe with you all. Here are the ingredients for the crust. It's a two-step. You're going to be making the crust, the custard, and then putting it together and baking it. So for the crust, we're going to be using 3.5 cups of flour, which should equal about 500 grams of flour, all-purpose flour. Then right here I have a cup of sugar, 3 whole eggs, the zest of a lemon, just half a teaspoon of baking powder, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and here I have 8 ounces, 2 sticks of butter. The reason why I left the paper, usually I leave it out to get soft, otherwise if I microwave it, what I do with the paper, I just kind of coat the bottom of the spring pan so the cake doesn't stick to it. So that's the crust part. And now let me give you the ingredients for the Crema Pasticciera, which is custard. Crema Pasticciera could be used 1,000 different ways, but it's a great base, and this is my go-to base recipe. So I have 3 cups of whole milk, 6 egg yolks, I have 1.25 cups of granulated sugar, I have 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to be using the skin, the peel of the lemon, and I have a vanilla pod that we're going to be removing the seeds. In a large bowl, let's get the dry ingredients in first. I like to do the flour, the salt, and the baking powder, and I tell you why. I like to go ahead and incorporate with my whisk. By doing that with the whisk, it's as good as if you were sifting the flour and the ingredients. And you also want to always make sure that your baking powder gets dissolved, because if you get a chunk of that, not fun. So that's what I do first. Now I'm going to add the sugar and mix it again. Eggs go in. So does the butter. Zest of the lemon. Okay. Lemon zest went in. Now with one hand I'm going to start mixing. Break your eggs and kind of like almost as if you were whisking it. Just slowly start grabbing the flour from the sides. You just want it to create a nice dough. See that? Soft. Don't overwork it, because it's not a dough that needs to be overworked. So just make sure it comes together nicely. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to refrigerate it. Sprinkle some flour on your work surface, and let's get the dough out. Okay? Dobbiamo fare la faccia. That means it's got to get its face, that it needs to look pretty and smooth and well combined. Like I said, it's not a dough that gets overworked, but you need to create a nice smooth surface. Look how soft it is. Now we're going to add plastic wrap. You could flatten it out a little bit if you want. And here it goes in the fridge for at least 1 hour. In a saucepan, you're gonna add your flour, your sugar, and whisk it Again, I like to get it with the whisk so it's nice and thin. If the sugar has any hard pieces, they kind of gets all nice and thin. Look at this. See that? Now what we're going to do is add the eggs. And continue stirring and try to pick up the flour off to the side. Now, this part is important. Don't add your milk all at once, because what that does is you're gonna get the groomy a little flour or sugar balls, and you don't want that. You want to make a thin, smooth cream. So there you go. You continue stirring, picking up the flour and sugar off to the side. See that? I picked up all the flour and sugar, picked everything up, and now we can slowly add the milk in. Un filo alla volta. Un filo means a thread at a time, a drop at a time. So I add a little bit of the milk, stir, and incorporate it. Vanilla bean, what you're gonna do is with a sharp knife is cut right along the top like this. Be careful. And then you look at all those beautiful vanilla little bean, that's so much flavor. You could use regular vanilla, maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons, but the natural stuff is off the charts, different flavor. Now, another little trick, I know those of you that follow me know, I don't get rid of these. What I do is I stick it in my powdered sugar canister, and that I have vanilla sugar all the time for my cakes. Peel, now this is funny. You gotta try to remember how many peels go in, because that's how many peels you need to take out. That's the fun part. You could strain it, but you know what? I like it, because whoever gets to take the peels out gets to lick them too. And that's a delicious lemon peel with crema pasticciera. These are all memories linked to growing up. So, non perdiamo concentrazione. Let's not lose concentration. 2, 3, 4, ecco qua, e 5. 5 lemon peels. Let's move over to the stove and let's get this cooked. Medium-low flame, you're gonna have to stir going the same direction clockwise. That's what my nonna used to do, and that's what I do. Because if you go the other way, si rompe la crema. That means it curdles, and then you gotta start all over again. I'm too chicken to try it. So if anybody out there tries it, lets me know the reason behind stirring it the same way. I'll be glad to sometimes switch it up a little bit. Anyway, I want to share the story with you. The pizza dolce is an Easter dessert actually in our area, because we have an abundance of Amarene, and all the things that they grew locally, that's what I use. So my nonna's name was Serafina. I have 4 siblings, and they have my grandparents' names. I'm the odd one out, because I was the 3rd girl. So when I was born, my father really couldn't care less what my mother named me. So for Santa Serafina, which was my grandmother's name, birthdays were not celebrated in Italy. We celebrated name days. So for Santa Serafina, all our goddaughters, the godmother, everybody would be bringing these desserts over, all the relatives, and we always had so many of these pies, and it was so wonderful that we would sit around and they would open one. Questa è buona, questa non è tanto buona, questa è buonissima. So there was always a competition with the pastiera, the pizza rosa, the rice pies too. So wonderful, wonderful memories of growing up. Let's not get distracted. Let's take a look, because you don't want it to start boiling quickly. It's got to take its time to warm up and just keep stirring. 5 minutes in, you could already feel the cream is thickening at the bottom. This is very important. Make sure that your flame is nice and low. You don't want to burn the bottom or let it stick. These are things that need a little bit of patience. Another 5 minutes have passed. Look how smooth. See that? Not ready yet. Okay, look at the flame. I want to show you how it is. Okay, now it's the final stages. See, it's thickening up. Don't stop stirring. You don't want extremely thick because it does get baked. So it needs to stay nice. Ecco qui, la crema è pronta. Let's see, you see the bubble? It came to a boil. Shut it off immediately. Keep stirring, and let's move into another container. See that? This is a perfect time to get the lemon skins out. 5, right? I think I remember correctly. See? Didn't stick to the bottom. It's so velvety and beautiful. The aroma is fantastic. I can smell the vanilla. I can smell the lemon. One skin. Leave a little cream on the skin you remove because that's the treat for the person that gets to eat them. 2, 3, 4. We have one more in here. Here it is. Here's the 5th one. Okay. Got it. Mission accomplished. Missione compiuta in Italian. Okay. Got the little skins. I know exactly what these skins are going for. My darling Massimo. All right. Now, I want to talk about a little bit. The cream is smooth and thinner than if you were making, let's say, if you were making St. Joseph's Zeppelin, you need more flour. So the recipe for the custard on the St. Joseph's pastry is slightly different because it has more flour in it. Now, what we're going to do is cover this with plastic wrap and refrigerate it. You could also make the crust and the crema pasticciera the day before and then assemble it the next day, just in case if you don't want to do everything together at once. The dough's been chilled. Now, of course, the bottom piece is going to be larger than the top, so I'm going to do, I guess, 2/3 and 1/3. Let's move that off to the side. Sprinkle the work surface with a little flour, and let's get this made into a large circle to fit the base of the cheesecake ring, the springform. Okay. What you want to do is with your hands help it to stay nice and round. That makes it easier. Okay? Don't be afraid to sprinkle a little flour underneath and on top because that avoids it sticking to your work surface. So let's go ahead. This is what I do gently. Then flip it again and keep going. Okay, a little flour on top. And then you flip it again, little flour, because it is a butter dough, so you don't want it sticking to the table. Of course, the colder it is, the less chances of sticking to the table you're gonna get. Now, when it gets larger, this is what you wanna do. Sprinkle it with the flour, roll it on your rolling pin, and move it like this. See that? Now let's measure it. What we're going to do is let's measure it that we have enough on the side, and I think we do. So let's go ahead and start rolling it so we help ourselves with the rolling pin. Let's go ahead, roll it around the rolling pin, and now you're going to give it a little bit of space. Don't pull it directly because it's got to go inside. Okay, like this. Now help it down. Don't worry if it breaks a little bit. It's a very forgiving dough. By the way, I forgot to show you the thickness. This is how thick you want it. I'm going to say about 1/8 of an inch. Fatelo cadere dentro so it stays, it goes in all the way. Your finger, just push it down at the bottom corner so it creates a nice even form at the bottom. Go ahead and trim it. Okay, ecco qua. Okay, trimmed all the side. Take a look inside. By the way, it's a very forgiving dough, so if you break a little piece, just stick to it and push it down and it'll be fine. Now, before we add the crema pasticciera in the custard cream, what you want to do is take a fork and just kind of poke the bottom. Come closer so you could take a look. Looks like a beautiful design at the bottom. Now, let's get the crema pasticciera in. You could add a layer of chocolate chips of just shredded dark chocolate at the bottom. I don't prefer it. My family doesn't prefer it. So we're just going to leave it out. But you certainly can add a nice layer of the chocolate at the bottom. Let's get the top disc made also. And I'm going to show you how I like to do that. Flour, like I showed you at the bottom. Okay, here's a nice round. You will have a little bit of leftover dough. Don't worry, you can make little cookies with it. Circle, I'm going to place this right on top, and then with a sharp knife, I'm going to cut perfectly around it. Okay, there you go. Perfect circle right there. The crema pasticciera is completely cool, so we're going to go ahead and add it in. Level it out with a spatula. Beautiful Amarene cherries, let's get them in. I'll show you how to make them if you don't want to buy the ones, the Fabri ones, or you can find them in your area. So come closer and take a look. So we're just gonna line up in a decorative circle the cherries. I love the cherries when they're right at that very tip between the crust and the custard, just the last bite. That's usually the last bite. Then I'm going to just drizzle a little bit of the syrup. And what you want to do, some of them, maybe you want to just push them a little further down. So you have some that are on top, some that are in the middle, so a little bit everywhere. Gently, let's get it right over. There you go. See that? Just it makes for a perfect fit. Trim the excess from where the top layer meets with the crust on the side. Just press together with your index finger the top with the bottom. See that? Like this. Prick it with the fork and let's get the oven. The oven's been on 350 and let's get it baked. Perfect color. Okay, now let it get cool, completely cool before you remove it, okay? It's very hot. Open it. Guardate un po'. Isn't it perfect? A dusting of powdered sugar is a must on top. And also what's great about the powdered sugar, it hides all the imperfections. So go ahead, feel free and just add it on. Una bella spolverata di zucchero a velo. The first slice is never the prettiest, but I will try my best. The crust is nice and crunchy and flaky. Ecco qua, vediamo un po'. Beautiful. Need to taste it for you. Gonna try it with the Amarene for you. I just want to make sure I get a good bite. Let's see. Ecco qua. Oh, oh. The memories that's attached to some flavors are priceless. Please make these recipes, enjoy them with your family and friends, and you'll probably remember the zio and the zia that made them, or the nonna and the nonna, and anybody that made these foods, because food is indeed love. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button. Until next time, arrivederci, alla prossima, ciao ciao. Okay, in between the making the cake and the pizza dolce and eating it, we went out to dinner. Now we're back. Massimo, devi assaggiare e mi devi dire tu cosa ne pensi. Mi fai venire la voglia solo guardandolo.
Absolutely divine.
No,
divine.
Massimo, non dire absolutely divine. Cosa ti ricorda? I sapori, what do they remind you of?
When I was child, my good soul, my mother used to do that on the Sundays.
Why?
remember
Why
it.
did they make that? Because these were ingredients that were at hand. The milk,
Beautiful.
the eggs, the Amarene that grew in abundance in our area, right?
In the
Massimo is
backyard.
from Piano di Sorrento and I'm from Viche Quenze. These are towns right before Sorrento. Massimo, non ti affogare però. Piano piano. Piano piano. Goodbye everybody. Thank you for watching.